I'm Brandie Yates, and we're here with LeRoy Harvey, Meridian Township's Environmental Programs Coordinator. LeRoy, thank you so much for coming to speak to me today.
Thanks for having me.
So it's that time of year, it's fall and heading into some colder months. Some people may be wondering what to do once those leaves, those beautiful leaves, the beautiful colors start falling. What can people do with their yard waste in Meridian Township? I know that there's many options, and if you can go into detail about that.
Sure, there's lots of things you can do. There's been some interesting research at Michigan State University where you can actually mow up to 6 inches of leaves into your turf, and it can improve your turf. That requires a mulching mower, typically, but there's a number of services around. We do take yard waste, including leaves, grass clippings, branches, brush, and that type of thing, at our recycling center 6 days a week. If you go to reclaimedbydesign.com, you can get the hours and the prices for that. Basically, it's a couple bucks per bag, like a biodegradable paper bag, or $15 a cubic yard. There's other places you can take stuff to. We have about 10 community gardens. Some of them have compost piles, so if you have a community garden, sometimes they want extra leaves or grass clippings for their compost piles. You can start your own compost pile if you're interested in that. We have resources here that describe how you can do that. Okay, last year we had a compost bin sale and a rain barrel sale. Mm-hmm. So,
is that something that you may consider this year?
We're not going to do it this year necessarily. Well, possibly next year.
Okay.
We usually do that as a team effort regionally, and we take orders at the Home and Landscape Expo or online.
All right.
So that's compost piles, another option. You don't necessarily need a compost bin, but it helps give your pile a sense of continuity.
Okay.
You can mow your leaves or mulch your leaves. You can also use leaves as a mulch around trees, in your garden, around plants and bushes in your yard. You can also talk to your waste provider, or waste hauler. Granger, for example, has a yard waste pickup option, several different options. And there are landscaping companies and lawn services that can also take care of your.
So for someone who maybe just moved to the township or very new to this area, the township doesn't offer a leaf or brush pickup program, but there's these other resources you can direct people to.
Well, we do, but you've got to take it to our recycling center on Lake Drive.
Okay.
Yeah, 5976 East Lake Drive, and Monday and Friday they're open from 2 to 6, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 10 to 6, and then Saturday from 10 to 5. Starting in November, it'll be closing an hour earlier.
Okay, for their fall hours.
Yeah, and again, you can go to reclaimedbydesign.com.
Okay.
There's another business in town that also will take your yard waste, Hammond Farms. They also sell finished compost. You can't put yard waste in with your trash or organic stuff in with your trash because there's a ban on putting yard waste into landfills.
Okay. I was just going to say the environmental side of this. I'm glad to hear that we can mulch into our grass. You said up to how many?
Up to 6 inches. Not all at once, but as you over the course of the season.
I know my husband likes to rake up the leaves, and I'm not a fan of raking up the leaves. But environmentally, can you talk about maybe the benefits to the environment of leaving some of the leaves and mulching them, or just for the animals? And
yeah, well, leaves eventually decompose whether you mulch them or not. It's just how pretty you want your lawn to look. But if you use a mulching mower, it actually grinds the leaves up, and you can sometimes not even tell that the leaf material is in your lawn if you do it regularly. So yeah, it's kind of nature's way of recycling, and so composting is just one way to make that happen faster, and maybe control it, capture that compost for your garden or your ornamental plants. But yeah, you can mulch the leaves into the lawn. And if people are interested in that research or more specific fact sheets on how to mulch your leaves or grass clippings, be happy to send out information or provide that through the email.
Okay. And let's take a little step and talk about brush and tree limbs. I know with as the weather gets colder and maybe some storms and winter storms, talk about the importance of making sure you properly take care of the brush and limbs in your yard, and not only for the safety of other people who might, like on the sidewalk, for example, but just where to properly take those.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, again, there's lots of options. If people have a lot of tree limbs that come down, for example, there are landscaping companies that will, and also rental places will rent you a chipper or even a chainsaw. There's always people interested in firewood. So as long as you're not transporting it across county lines, depending on what type of species it is. So FreeCycle is a popular place to get rid of material that you don't want, that you want to give away for free. Or there's lots of online places where you can get rid of firewood.
Okay.
I got rid of a 3,000 pounds of old willow tree in my backyard just on FreeCycle because somebody wanted.
And is that a website, FreeCycle?
FreeCycle.org is a
Okay.
place to get rid of just about anything you want to get rid of. Somebody has a use for it.
Someone's treasure. They're looking for
Right.
items, maybe the trash to
Your
treasure
trash,
type of thing.
their treasure.
Yeah.
And there are people who sell firewood that might be interested in, depending on how big your lumber is.
Okay. And this might be. I have a question. I didn't prepare you. I was going to ask you this, but I know it's October, but with the holiday season approaching, I know the township frequently does a Christmas tree recycling. Is that still something that's going to be planned for this year? And do you have any details?
I don't have specifics, but that usually occurs at the service center.
Okay.
And it's typically between after Christmas and the end of January.
Okay.
And we hire someone that comes in and grinds that up and mulches it, and then it just gets spread around the grounds.
Why is it important for someone to maybe bring it to the residents of Meridian Township to recycle their Christmas trees instead of just maybe like leaving it in their yard or throwing it in the trash? Can you say anything about the importance of recycling those?
It's just another option that's low cost. We also take the Christmas trees at our recycling center. Obviously, we want the tin foil removed, or the tinsel.
Tinsel, yep.
And decorations removed, and any wire that doesn't compost very well, and it also clogs the chippers and shredders. So removing any wire is important to that. But yeah, Christmas tree is kind of a recycling business in some ways. And it's, you think cutting down trees is a bad thing, but actually there's lots of people growing thousands and thousands of trees across Michigan. It's a fairly big business, and it's uses nature, and the trees go back into the earth eventually.
Okay. And just a couple more questions before we're done here. Just kind of a wrap up from your fall recycling event that I interviewed you about. You don't have to have the specific statistics. We have those out there already. But how did this year's event go, and maybe planning already in the future for a spring recycling event? Anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, it continues to amaze me that we get so many people that come. We counted approximately 800 cars that came through this fall.
That's amazing.
So there's people that still have lots of stuff, accumulating lots of stuff, including those old things that we thought were extinct. But the next event will be April 25th, and we'll probably be taking paint and electronics and metal and bikes and a variety of other things. So stay tuned for details, but our green team is meeting next month to start planning that out.
Okay. And is there anything else you want to say just about anything new happening with what you are overseeing in the township about solar energy or recycling, or anything you want to get out to the residents at home about these kind of initiatives this season?
Yeah, in terms of holidays coming up, one of the important things is not to put grease down your drain. We've talked about that before, but we've got information on how to reduce sewer clogs and things not to flush down the toilet. And one of our speakers is going to be an environmental commissioner, Dr. Susan Maston, on early November, and she's going to talk about what not to put down your drain. So that's a big issue this time of year.
During the holidays,
Yep.
lots of cooking happening, yes.
Yep. We're working on a really cool garden in front of the solar panel system, as you're going to see planted in the next couple of weeks. So excited about that, and also scheming new solar panels for our township facilities this coming year.
Okay.
So
Great things happening. I'm sure we'll be following up with you on all of those projects.
thank you.
Well, thank you so much, LeRoy, and thank you for watching.